Hey everybody, welcome back to another Batman video. I've been in kind of a wave of that of late. Thanks, of course, to Todd McFarlane and his company and his amazing articulated array of Batman figures. This particular guy means a lot to me. He's not quite done. You notice the knees. I still need to put the points in on the top of the boots. But the big thing about this one is this is the year 2. It was a sort of a forgotten figure to me. I've been collecting the latest stuff, doing the movie sets, carrying on. And in the midst of doing all that, I've been finding these old comic style Batman figures that I've just been loving and having a great time repainting, reworking. Been discovering and meeting a lot of guys online that like to redo and redo their figures. A few of us have gotten to know each other. It's really fun, and I want to commend all the people that out there that collect these and have fun with them like that. If you're scared to touch or change your figure, I understand. I can relate to that. It's a little spooky to do that, but here's what I did with this one. This is the year 2, and he had kind of rough elbows. I kind of fixed up his above the glove there, kind of made it look like he's more like wearing a glove. I put a glove line in it. Had to use a Dremel to do that. Pretty happy with the body. I love the shoulders and the trunks, the belt. Even the bat emblem was pretty cool to me. I kind of liked it. But the big thing for this figure to me was the head sculpt. I really love the head sculpt. I love the ears. There's something about the long ears like that. And there's a big and obviously you've been noticing the cape. Yeah, I found this pleather. I went to a city that's got a JoAnn's Fabrics, and they had this amazing blue pleather. It was very thin. And I love the color. It wasn't quite the baby blue, you know, that all these figures seem to come in. It was close. It's still evocative of that blue color. But the other thing was, oh God, can I make the figure match the material? I said, well, I'd rather do it that way than, you know, paint him and then try to find material and never find the material. So if you get your material and match the figure to that, you're in business. And of all the things, check this out. This is Vallejo model color acrylic paint ultramarine. Well, that turns out to be exactly the color of this cape material. So I didn't even alter it. It's straight out of the bottle. All the places on him that I repainted are ultramarine. It's really blue. It's really powerful. So I kind of toned down the gray, which I had to repaint the gray. And then to solidify the whole thing, I have my Mr. Hobby Mr. Super Clear Matte Spray, which I spray over everything but the cape. I missed the cape. If you spray fabrics, they'll crack. It'll do weird stuff. But I sprayed the body good, made it where it wouldn't be reflective and shiny like cheap plastic. Put a little glossy stuff on the belt, which I loved, and kept him mostly in the fabrics realm. And right off the bat, here's the thing, is who's he based on? Which particular Batman? Well, it's a McFarlane piece of art, the year 2. So there's a nod to Todd McFarlane there. But I kind of changed him up. I've been wanting one to look like the Batman I really sort of not grew up on, but rediscovered in the late 80s. I was going to college in Savannah and was watching the old Batman TV shows and kind of got back into Batman again, and I went to a local comic shop really looking for, I'd been told Neil Adams was the artist to find. Well, I couldn't find any Neil Adams comics, but the proprietor showed me one that I'd never heard of before. Of course, I hadn't heard of any of them at the time. But there was this reprinted series called Shadow of the Batman. It was it's number 4 with the Joker on it. It was a 5-issue set of comics that DC put back out, collecting some stories from earlier years. Primarily, and these covers were done by Marshall Rogers, and there was a lot of Marshall Rogers art. Well, I sort of fell in love with the Marshall Rogers Batman, and there's still not one that looks exactly like him. This is just my shot at something close. It pays homage to Neil Adams and Dick Giordano and, you know, all the guys that did the blue and gray Batman from the 70s through the 80s. Jim Aparo, Jim was the main artist for a while there with my era. But I wanted something that was the definitive of that era, you know. I wanted that captured somehow. And nobody's done it yet. They just haven't done it yet. So this is my closest attempt at it. I had a lot of fun. I made him a really big wired cape so that it can be dramatic, and he just dominates the shelf now. He's just, you know, and that's over my other one that was my first attempt at it, which was this guy. The overused buck body from McFarlane that is still a great figure. And I actually had this cape made, and I liked it, and I liked the material, but I wanted pleather. I wanted something that light wouldn't pass through. I wanted a solid material, and I wanted it to be the same finish as the cowl. So I did what I could, and this, like I say, this is my nod to that era, what I consider the greatest Batman era in comics. The 70s and 80s, maybe early 90s. It'll never be the same for me. This is always going to be my favorite. So this is to you guys. This is to you customizing fools that get these figures like me and can't leave them alone. This is to you folks that remember the great comics of yesteryear with the same fondness. And all you guys and folks, ladies, gentlemen, all you people that have been checking out my site and my channel and leaving comments and looking at figures. If you've got the nerve and the time to try to customize them, it's worth the trouble. It's so fun. It's just so fun. And the reward is you get a figure that you just can't find anywhere. I can't get this particular guy anywhere. Now, McFarlane, Todd, I hope you see this and say, hey, we better get that era completely captured. We haven't done it yet. Well, remember the ears, remember the colors. Let's do a new body. And let's talk Jim Aparo. Let's talk, let's talk Marshall Rogers. And let's not sell it for $50 because you got some gimmick in the box. Put him in your regular standard box for $20 to $25 and let us all have a shot at it. Because this guy is the type that everybody should have. We should all be able to get this. I'm not paying $100 for already purchased figures that have been made into something that I just can't afford. Sorry. This is what I like. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to keep making. I hope you guys like what I've done. If you do, hit me with a like. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And feel free to comment. I mean, again, I know I've got to finish the boots. I got to make the points on the tips. I may change that part of his legs out. But I am extremely satisfied with this figure. There's something about him on the shelf. He just anchors the whole thing. Makes me feel like, yep, now I've got my collection. You guys take care. We'll see you next time. Probably be something a little different. Till then, take care.